Well, hello, folks. Come on into the room. Come on into the room. All right, we got 1 minute and it will be 8 o'clock. It will be 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 p.m. Central. How y'all be? Your girl been away for a little bit. Had to go and sort some things out. Yes, sort some things out. All right, it is now 8 o'clock. I make my disclaimer. The information I share with you all weekly, now that I'm back, is for informational senses purposes. For informational purposes. Okay, I make no guarantee that you'll get the same results that I've gotten. But if you need a consult, go ahead and get yourself a consult. Get the right folks. I'm the right folks. You can consult with me. All right, moving on down the road. It sure is nice coming back to the here live. Well, anywho, all right, I've been missing in action, but I'm biggity back. Back here again. Yes, I am. Took a few weeks to sort some things out, but now I'm back to share this here goodness with you all. All right. Don't listen. Don't be mad at me if I look over at my notes because I, put my notes together and I want to make sure I want to hit every nook and cranny. All right. Anywho, I am now back here to the road to wrong rooms. If y'all join me, pass it on. Y'all see the little ticker going across the bottom. Feel free to share. Feel free to follow me. Anywho, our topic tonight is feeling lost in the sauce. Lost in the sauce. That was me at some point. And sometimes it still happens. Lost sauce. But as I do, we are going to recap. What have we talked about in the weeks past? We talked about pursuing dreams. Whatever you pursue begins to crystallize. Dream killers, fear, past performances, close relatives can all be dream killers. Know your purpose and pursue it. Get into it. Vulnerability. We're all vulnerable at some point in time in our life. Will you use it to propel you or will you stay stuck in your vulnerability? Walking in defeat. Oh my goodness. How many of us been there? Raise my hand. Raise your hands, my peeps. How many of us been there? Been there, done that, wrote a book about it. Yes, I have. But you don't have to be there. You don't have to stay in defeat. Yes, because there is a purpose for you. Find it and move. Anywho, everyone will fail at some point. What you do with that failure determines how far you go. Hey, if you don't fail, you don't even know what you are capable of truly doing. We all have failed. And guess what? I know I failed. And I'm probably going to fail again. But guess what? That's how you learn. Y'all, this is still this good stuff right here that I make. I don't care where I'm at on the globe. I'm going to make it. I'm sorry. I digress. But right back onto what we've been talking about. Personality traits. Good night, sweet peas and collard greens. Is your personality traits sinking or sailing ships? What is it like to work with you? What is it like to live with you? Good night. Anywho, executive functioning deficit. That was the very last live that I spoke about before I went on my mini hiatus. But executive functioning deficits, tend to run in the family. Yeah, if we got a parent or two that's struggling with some stuff, you're gonna probably have a kid that's gonna struggle with some stuff. Don't be so harsh on them and beat them up because of something that they do that you do or did do. However way you want to work it. All right, my friends. Now into tonight's live. Are you struggling to make the dots connect? Y'all know I'm gonna give you a story. I'm gonna give you a story. But first things first, we're going to talk about the article written by Madeline Will. We're talking about alternative certifications. She wrote in this article, and I'm going to read it to you word for word. She says she she noted the alternative assessment the why do I want to keep saying that? Please don't shoot me. Uh Alternative certifications. She noted the highs and the lows of going that route. If you are an educator and you went that route, then you know what I'm talking about. I went that route. But those programs are typically put together by a school district, universities, nonprofit companies, whatnot, such as Teach for America, whatnot. But it's a big difference between being traditionally trained to be a teacher than the alternative route to becoming a teacher. Now, the biggest thing about the alternative route is you don't have to stay in school as long as the traditional route. You work and be the teacher of record while you're still getting your credentials. Um, it's accelerated in big numbers. It's accelerated. It is. When you're on the alternative route, it's accelerated. Baby, listen, there's some things that's gonna be missed. And you probably needed that part. I think that was my story. Anywho, I'm gonna move on down to my talk for tonight. So we know what you know what, that's going to be my nemesis for tonight. I want to keep saying alternative assessment, but it's really alternative certification. Anywho, story time. So my journey to become an educator was not the traditional route. My route was the alternative route. I went in with a degree. Matter of fact, my undergrad degree was in business administration with a concentration in marketing. Who would have thunk it? But that is how I got into teaching. And to be honest with you, for any of you who know my story, I did not want to be a teacher at all. I wanted to be an OBGYN. I was going to deliver babies. So I thought. But here was the one detail that I realized, but later. All of my jobs, summer camps, whatnot, always dealt with children. Always. Every last summer job had to deal with children. I'm always working with them, coaching them, summer camp, whatever the case may be, always little kids. So that probably was the tall tale sign that needed to be a teaching way. But anywho, and I found joy in doing it. But anywho, so we're going forward. After graduation, I didn't graduated from undergrad. What am I going to do? I got this degree that I don't even think I want. It was like, hurry up and get out of here. And you're too far gone to back up. So just get out. So I ended up with the business degree, which, hey, I guess it had its strong suits, but it wasn't strong for me because I didn't want to do anything with that. So I jumped and got into a sub position. There was a long-term sub position at a parochial school. So I don't know, it was somebody who knew me that worked with kids. And that was the beginning of my journey of teaching. But I was the substitute, not the certified teacher for the room. Now we're going forward 3 years later, past the substituting part. And now I am into the teacher of record. So we're going to journey on down this here journey. We're going to journey on down this track. Here I am, green as they come, sitting in the room. I got my roster and I got my detail, but I didn't know half of what I needed to know to do the job. So it was a lot of think on my feet. So I started out. Week 1 go by, and the principal is asking for lesson plans. And I'm thinking to myself, Sweet peas and collard greens. What kind of lesson plan you looking for? Because I ain't never wrote one of those. I ain't never had to do it. I sure didn't know how to do it, but I wasn't going to tell her I didn't know how to do it. I was going to figure that thing out. Even if it took me all night, I was going to figure it out. So the week go by. I don't really have my lesson plan, but I'm quick on my feet. Something. Yeah, I'm going to get them to you as soon as I can. I'm going to get them to you tomorrow. And she was looking for them. I went online. I was searching. How many of us been out there? How many of us done that? Been up all night searching, just looking for the keywords. So I found something that I could use, and I'm just changing names and I'm doing it. It didn't make sense to me. It probably sure didn't make sense to her, but I met the requirement. Now, I share this story because of the feeling that I had. It was a feeling of inadequacy. I was inadequate because I didn't know what I was doing. I was lost in the sauce. So, yes, granted, yeah, the district had given me a mentor teacher, but how many of us is out here with mentor teachers that's got a caseload of their own? They ain't got that much time to be dealing with you and what you don't know. We checking boxes if you're going that route. Yes, things have changed over the years, but I'm talking about 20 years ago when I came into this field. So I ended up getting with the mentor teacher to ask her, how do we do this? How do we do this lesson plan thing? Now, granted, the mentor teacher didn't even teach what I taught. She had something totally different. She really couldn't help me as much as I needed the help. She taught profound students, and I taught okay, so to speak. Looks very different. And she did her best to try to help me out, but I still couldn't quite get what was I supposed to be doing. And it took me to go and find one of the gen ed teachers, because I was a special ed teacher. Took me to go and find one of the gen ed teachers who could show me how to do it. But her plans were so exquisite. I was like, how in the world? And me trying to be the best me possible, tried to mimic what she had for her gen ed scholars, which added to the anxiety. It added to the stress of what I had going on. Well, I don't want to take you guys down a rabbit hole of me and them doggone lesson plans. Let's just make a long story short. Your girl learned how to write lesson plans, and she learned how to write them real good. You hear what I say? But I'm asking, how many of us are out here in these educational streets on the struggle bus, lost in the sauce, can't quite get them dots to connect, and you are alternatively certified? There are some holes. There are some holes there. And not to say that the holes wouldn't be there for a teacher that went the traditional route. Classroom management is classroom management. You either got it or you don't. Working with our students, our scholars, either you got a knack for it or you don't. If you can't ebb and flow, them kids gonna tear you up in that classroom. I'm here to let you know that. They're gonna tear you up. But for me, that wasn't my story. I actually had excellent classroom management. Couldn't write a lesson plan to save my life at that point, but I had excellent classroom management and give the kids what they needed when they needed it. Perhaps it was a gift that I didn't even know I had. But I tell you this, if you are struggling to connect the dots and you feel that you don't have all the tools you need, you gotta get beyond yourself. That was a struggle. I know if some lives ago, we talked about that, being vulnerable and things of that nature and failing and whatnot that I had to go through. But I actually had to swallow my pride and seek the help that I needed. Because you remember, at all cost, I was going to make this thing work. Didn't know what I was doing, but I was going to make it work. I was going to save face, even if I had to burn the midnight oil. I stayed at that school in my earlier years because I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I stayed at the school. But as the years grew on, I had become very good at what I was doing. I stayed because I wanted it to be extremely excellent. And I didn't want to have to really think the next day. I didn't want to have to be looking and shuffling and bustling for anything. I can write a plan out of this world, IEPs as well. But it came from me losing. I had to lose. And it didn't feel good to lose because I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody likes to feel like they don't know what they're doing. And they sure don't want to be made to feel like they don't know what they're doing. I guess now in today's terms, people are using being gaslit. But at the end of the day, I sought the help that I needed so that I could be my best self for my scholars and for my colleagues and for stakeholders that depended on what I brought to the table. I became very great at it. Anybody who knows Dr. Scott say, oh yeah, she could write a plan. She an IP, she could run a meeting, she can do this, she can do that. But it took a lot of trial and error. If you are struggling with just getting the kids to mind, I'm your girl. Oh, I got a lot of tricks. I got a lot of tricks of the trade. There's a lot of things. Sometimes just a simple get close to the kid. Just a simple, hey, you want to eat lunch with me today? That one kid that you swear to goodness is going to take you out. Ask them. You'll be surprised what happens. I had to learn that trial and error. Y'all don't think for one second that just because I'm the SPED teacher, I ain't have those days where I wanted to. Yes, and you know it. But I love the kids so much, and everybody who worked with me knew that was the case as well. So anyways, I'm not going to stay before you long today, but I will tell you that there's somebody out there who's struggling to connect the dots, lost in the sauce. You're alternatively certified. There are things, you're getting ready to walk away. Them kids need you. So if you walk away, who they going to have? Now, I'm the one you probably would want to get in contact with. Y'all see my little information across the bottom? Go ahead and send me an email. Connect with me on the TikTok and on the Find the Funny and at the Behavior Shaper. Connect with me. Send me an email. I got a call to action. Go ahead and share the page. Tell your friends about me because I know some of you got some colleagues out there who is on the struggle bus. They don't know if they're going to get up and go back to that job tomorrow. The article that I posted in this live today says it all. And it's not just teachers that are alternatively certified looking to walk away. It's teachers who went the traditional route looking to walk away. If we all walk away as here teaching job, who gonna teach our babies? I'll wait. Anybody gonna explain that to me? Who gonna teach them if we all thinking about walking away? Even that one who talks about, I ain't thinking about walking away. I just need a break. Stop it. Stop it. You're ready to walk away. Well, anywho, I sure do miss you, my peeps. Next week, I shall be back, and we'll see what God has for me to tell the people next week. This week, I had to get back out there. I'm back from my hiatus. I had to get myself together. And now that I'm back, I'm back. Y'all gonna have the most amazing rest of your week. And get at your girl. Share the page. Tell somebody about it. Y'all have a good evening.